Hello, everybody out there in the world, and welcome. You have arrived in exactly the right place. You are here at Feature Focus, our first changelog stream of 2024. And is it a changelog? Oh my goodness. Things are going to get real today. So real, in fact, that we couldn't do this with just one of us. We could not do this with just two of us. We had to pull out the big guns for this stream. We had to bring in all of the people because this is the drop of I think all drops in the last little while. So I'm gonna bring on the amazing Kate and Jonathan. How is it going this morning, Jonathan and Kate?
Doing good. Hoping to have as much energy as you, Andrew, but it'll be tough to match that.
It's all caffeine. It's all caffeine, and I think that's really it. If I ever stop drinking coffee, then look out. Bad things will happen. So for all of you who have just dropped into this stream or who are catching the VOD, I need to get this up here. Oh, I always forget this. Where is it? Do I have, yes, there we go. Not does it toggle. We're on Feature Focus. Welcome to Feature Focus, which is DevCycle's monthly changelog stream. In this stream, we are going to share some awesome recent updates, changes over on the DevCycle platform. If you have no idea what DevCycle is, don't worry, because I have already prepped somebody that is on this stream to kind of give the rundown on that. But trust me, this is going to be the stream. Stick around till the end. If you're watching this in the VOD, this whole stream is worthwhile, but you can go and check out the chapters too that are there. But before we get into exactly what we are going to be sharing today on the stream, there's somebody new that's never been here before. Now, Jonathan and I have done a couple of these streams over the streams that we have done in 2023. But there is a new face here. And as part of the experience of being on Feature Focus, everybody that comes on as kind of a co-host has to get put in the hot seat and introduce themselves, and then the sales pitch of what DevCycle is about. And this is all just a secret plan method for me to then go and do like a tech check in the background. So Jonathan, they're going to pull you and I off of stream for a minute, and we're going to put Kate on the hot seat. And then I'm going to go and check and make sure that all of our tech is working. So Kate, over to you. Who are you? What do you do around here? And then what the heck is this DevCycle thing anyways?
Yeah, okay. Spotlight on me. It's giving me flashbacks to my SDR days of doing sales pitches for DevCycle and Teslas and stuff. So a brief kind of intro on me. My name is Kate, and I'm a product manager here at DevCycle. And DevCycle is basically a feature management platform where teams can easily create, roll out, clean up feature flags. And we as a team have really focused on developer experience while building this platform to create a product, hopefully, that is intuitively designed to be used by engineering teams, product teams alike. So as a product manager today, I'm really excited to chat about some features that we've shipped in the past month that hopefully make developers' lives easier. So yeah, that's my little spiel. Short and sweet. Hopefully I did okay, Andrew. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, Andrew's still muted.
What is going on? That was wonderful. Yes, it was wonderful. I thought I could shout through the muted microphone how wonderful it was. That was great. Well done, Kate. I need to go and actually clip all of the different, here's what DevCycle is of all of the people over the past, feature focuses, and see, who, it'll be like a who wore it best for DevCycle pitches. Fantastic. Thanks for that, Kate. So thrilled to have you on the stream. Jonathan, I'm just pumped that we're on another stream. I think this is great. I am always happy when I can jump on with you. And so, yeah. So what are we going to
You've been rocking through building a lot of cool stuff the last month. There's a lot to talk about.
It's been a wild month. If you don't follow, by the way, what we're doing, there's lots of places and we'll look at kind of some of those, but like the entire team has been just knocking stuff out. Like you should be in our corporate Slack and just see some of the stuff that is coming out every day and some of the stuff that's planned, which we'll look at a little bit of that, but we got some secret-ish stuff that's there. And then I dropped in the promo card for this stream, I kind of dropped one new change that's coming in the very near future. I don't know if anybody actually notices it, but it's slowly, you may notice some things shifting around the DevCycle world. So on today's stream, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to talk about 3 or 4 features that have come out in the past month. We're going to talk about audit logs. We're going to talk about outbound webhooks. We're going to talk about our updated onboarding workflow. We're going to talk about SOC2. Jonathan is here, so we might talk a little bit about open feature and Next.js and maybe some other stuff and where we're going to be. And then at the end of this stream, at the end of this video, we're going to be giving away $20 gift cards live on stream. Or if you catch this in the VOD, literally send us a message and win some cash, but find out how at the end of the stream. So I think with that, maybe we should jump into it. So I realized that I said before, I was going to share my screen and then I didn't share my screen. So I should probably do that. Let's get screen 3 up there. We can look at this beautiful rolling hills. I feel like all of the OSs right now are having a battle for the best backgrounds. I would love to just be the photographer who gets contracted by Microsoft or Apple to just go and take these spectacular backgrounds.
I don't know if you have an Apple TV, but the live animated drone shot
of the city
backgrounds that they do are just amazing. Yeah, of cities, of anything. The person,
comforting.
Yeah, the team that goes out and just does these amazing drone photography, slow-mo videos are just that sounds like a dream.
Yeah, and I think it is. And I use some, so I'm on Windows, Chrome, and Mac. So I'm on all of the operating systems. And I got to say, Chrome does a pretty good job. And Windows was doing a really good job. But Mac with the most recent OS update has really knocked it out of the park. All right, so we're going to head over. And we could go and check out app.devcycle.com. And we will look at kind of some of these things in a minute. The best place, if you're looking for all of these updates to find out about them, is actually this bell that you see everywhere. And I need to zoom in here. Did my bell disappeared? I went too far. I went too hard. Is this bell? This ties into our Beamer integration, which is a service that sort of sends updates. And you'll see this if you're on our Discord or if you're on the platform, this bell. And so it provides a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today. But I think the first one, and actually features our very own Kate in the Loom that we created for this, is our audit logs. And while you may be on this stream saying to yourself, audit logs sounds so not like a feature you would want to focus on, but it's super cool. This is something that's been asked for a really long time. Kate, where did feature level audit logging come from? What was the inspiration for this?
Yeah, no, I feel like it's been one of our most highly requested features that we put out in a while. So basically, it's just a change log of all the things that have happened to a certain feature, changes to targeting, changes to the variables that you've added. And so it's super important for teams to be able to kind of track those changes and be kind of brought up to speed at what's actually happening with your features. But yeah, so in addition to just kind of keeping track of what's happening, it's also super important from a QA perspective. So in case there's an outage or a bug within your app, it's important to understand kind of what is the feature configuration at that point in time to help engineers and QA people basically figure out the root cause of an issue. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why we tackled it, and hopefully people are happy with it. But yeah, feature level audit logs were kind of the starting point for how we want to do audit logs in the future. But yeah, that's kind of a little summary of its origin.
Yeah. Love it. What I love, so the interesting thing about Audit Log is like it's actually enabled some other things that we're going to talk about in a minute, but I want to just pull over. So documentation is great, but sometimes seeing it in platform is even better. Like Audit Logs are great. And to get into them, like you just go and check out a feature, click on your feature. There's at the very bottom of your screen.
See how fast the page is now? I just got to point out. See how fast things are now?
What happened?
Adam's been doing some great work over the last couple of days and update our Next.js rendering pipeline. And things are just so snappy, like changing pages now. It's crazy.
You're not wrong, actually. It's funny. I don't think I would have noticed it had you not just said it right now, but that is like much
like you go
faster.
to settings page, it's so fast. It's just like boom.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow. All right. Another bonus feature, everybody. We do love Next.js. And we're getting very good at it. If you haven't checked this out, we're going to have more about this in the future. But we're doing some cool stuff with Next. So yeah, if you go in here, check out the audit logs, head down, and you can see here sort of like what this whole setup here is. Oh, good. I am logged in. I'm like, am I logged into the wrong one? And so you can go in here and you can see like at every environment, what's happening, what changes are there. This is like a really good diffing algorithm as well. Like I think it shows you in a really visual way what's going on here. It's definitely very digestible, and yeah, like this exists for every new feature that's created post 2023 December, right, Kate?
Yeah, I think it's November 18th specifically when we started tracking all the changes to features, but yeah, anything before that might not, but after that we're all good.
Yeah. But here at DevCycle, it's not enough for us to release a feature. No. If we release one feature, we must release a feature related to that feature. And so almost immediately after audit logging was done, I don't actually know where this one came from, but I think somebody realized that we could easily transform the information that was in audit logs into something that could be digested out of the platform. So this is audit logs, obviously within the platform, but we now also have outbound webhooks, right, Kate?
Yeah, so a lot of the work that we did to build the audit log and the change detection engine, things that kind of power the audit log itself, lended itself to basically build outbound webhooks for our clients, like another like super requested feature, so that they can, based on changes to a certain feature, if they want to set up like any automations or integrations with like other vendors, like for example, making a Slack kind of webhook so that you can see any changes that are happening to a feature and punt that to Slack. Or I think there's another client who wanted to use webhooks based on a change to a status of a feature, be able to automate and create like a PR in GitHub to clean things up. So yeah, a lot of things that could have been kind of customizable things that can come out of webhooks because of the work that we did with the auto log and just tracking all the changes made to different features.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those base features that once you get it in there, you can start tying it into a lot of other things, right? So like the auto logs feed the webhooks that can then feed, like you can hook it up to a platform like Zapier and then allow you to connect into the whole world of various tooling and integrations. It allows our customers to build their own sort of like automations and things like that on top of it. So if you wanted to like run some internal logic whenever you enabled a feature, you could do that with an outbound webhook. If you wanted to update the status of some internal like dashboard or tooling or something like that based off of it, webhooks would be a great way to do that. So it really opens up sort of a whole wide array of integrations that folks can do.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have been asking, and maybe not a lot of people. I'm going to ask this for people that are thinking this, and they're like, webhooks, I love webhooks. I love being able to control things on a platform via webhooks. And this is not what this webhook setup that we have right now. Like inbound webhooks are a thing of the future. They're not here yet. Outbound webhooks are really, really focused around sort of like the same information you would get in the audit log in the platform, gives you that information elsewhere and to be able to use that kind of how you like. Now, that said, you could totally build your own custom integration using Zapier to then send a request to our management API or our bucketing API based on information that you're seeing in there. So like the possibilities now really are endless. Like you can see everything that's happening. Now, this doesn't include, however, any of the evaluation. So if you're looking for a way to see whether a flag has been evaluated or to be notified every time a flag has been evaluated, this is not the way. Also, I don't necessarily know if that's going to be hugely valuable for you all the time, but you can do a lot of the stuff with our API already. And so like, definitely look into this. There's cool stuff coming. We're not going to talk about today because coming, and it's going to be very cool. That's going to come out of this outbound webhooks. It's like everything we do, expect there to be like 6 iterations of it now. Because we're getting that good. We're getting repeatable. I feel like everywhere, including with kind of like example. We'll talk about example apps last because I want to jump to SOC2 stuff, but I find we're just getting to the place now where we can repeat things over and over again really easily, right? Like we're getting way more efficient at kind of going through a lot of these processes.
And like shipping features, you mean?
I think like shipping features, but also like, yeah, so shipping features, I think even like within our documentation process, like we're getting more efficient in all of the processes that are attached to these too. Like I know, again, we'll talk about example apps later on, but like our team, our activations team has been working really hard on example apps, and they've gotten into the place that like yesterday I had a free hour and I was like, I'm going to build an example app for like this framework that I know really well. And because those example apps are so well built out, it's really easy to do. And now I won't work doing anything else except building out new example apps.
I started doing the same thing. I'm like, oh, I have a free hour. I'm just going to go build some like open feature example apps. And I got like 3 of them done.
Right. And it's just like, it's so straightforward now that we have like that base structure. And so, yeah.
It's also just about like us continuing to iterate on these features, right? And like understanding that like this core thing that like getting the audit logging implemented from like a technical level definitely took like a bit longer and was like a bigger project, but like we know that there's all these series of integrations and tools that we can build on top of it. And so like making sure that we get that core sort of like implementation right the first time, so that we know when we go and build webhooks, build like integrations to like things like Slack and things like that in the future, that like the core technical structure is there and it's going to work for a long time. And so yeah, I think we did a good job of getting that base in place to allow us to like quickly iterate and build upon it really quickly.
We're awesome. Go us. Amazing. All right, so we talked a bit about example apps. We'll look at those in a minute, but I actually want to talk. So I think in this same way that I think we've made audit logging cool again, well done. Us again. I think we're also going to make SOC2 cool again. And Jonathan, I feel like this is something that's been way more in your wheelhouse than anybody else's. For those that don't know what SOC2 is, what is SOC2 and why should people care?
Yeah, it's definitely like become a more common term and process in sort of SaaS software and sort of these big like enterprise software selling to companies. And it's basically like a series of like it's a security framework that you as a company need to follow and get audited against, so that you can prove that you're following a lot of the best practices and doing a lot of the security things right, and that you have sort of limited holes into your software and limited holes in like your processes. And I think the most interesting learning for us is that like we built DevCycle from the ground up using a lot of sort of modern technologies, using a lot of the best practices of how to set up like your AWS and using Terraform and all these things that really set us up really well technically for SOC2. So like there wasn't a ton we needed to do from like a technical process side of things, but there was a lot of like human process that also goes into SOC2, because the reality of any company security is that like your technical security is probably less of a whole than your like your physical or your person security. So like most hacks happen from social engineering, from somebody like not following the process and giving someone they're not supposed to access to some things, or not securing your passwords properly or something like that. Like the majority of security related incidents actually I think come from those kind of like human holes, if that makes sense. And so a lot of the SOC2 stuff is setting up processes and policies internally to make sure that we follow process that makes sense, that have a proper approval processes, that everyone understands how you're supposed to like gain access to a new system, how you're supposed to, who and when you're supposed to have access to customer data, like what are the restrictions on that, all these types of things, like how long you're supposed to keep logs and things like that so we can investigate issues. So there's a lot of that stuff, but it was much more process and policy based than like what I initially expected, which was interesting. And we used a platform called Vanta as our main kind of automation tool and auditing tool for going through this, which was really great. They're actually a fellow YC company that we've known for years, and they've made the process pretty simple, where they'll tie into like your GitHub and your AWS accounts and all that type of stuff, and automate a lot of the checks for you. And so it's that's been really good. And then you get sort of paired up with an auditor, which will then sort of go through all of the documents you produce, which was like, we produced hundreds of pages of documents, like, and then it'll go through all the automated checks that Vanta does and sort of confirm that you're SOC2 compliant. And there's kind of two stages of it. There's SOC2 type 1 and SOC2 type 2. So type 1 is kind of like your initial audit that you're good. And then type 2 is they basically look at how you've been applying the policies you said you were applying for a year, and then basically double check that you've implemented what you've actually said you're going to do. And so we're kind of just getting into that type 2 process now, where probably in about 6 months we should have our SOC2 type 2 audit finish, where we get audited to make sure that we did the things we said we were going to do in those policies, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of where we're at right now.
I love that. Jonathan just hyped SOC2 so well, and I realized that my screen went to sleep because I didn't have it plugged in, but that doesn't matter. I just had Vanta up on the screen. It's very cool. It's funny, I come from like before DevCycle and tech industry, I was working in education. Education is all about SOC2, so like everything is super locked down, and so it's interesting to kind of see this in the startup world, and I think like sets up so many of these folks that are in this feature flag space really well. Now the great thing too is like we're kind of joining along with a lot of other folks that are in this space now, because I think there's a lot more feature flag providers in this space that are like, this is a gold standard, because more enterprises that are big enterprises are starting to use these tools, and therefore they're looking to have that kind of security.
Yeah, and I think it's a good process where like SOC2 definitely proved to be pretty rigorous. Like if myself as a CTO that's buying software, like it's definitely something I'm looking for now, because going through the process myself, like I understand that this isn't just like a checkbox thing. Like this isn't something that you can just achieve without any effort. Like it takes real effort and a real sort of like look at your human processes and your technical compliance to make sure you abide by this. And so myself looking to buy software, like I now understand the value when somebody says that they're like SOC2 compliant and what that means, and and how important that is. So like it really opened my eyes. If I was a little skeptical at first, but like actually going through the process, I'm like, okay, like a lot of these other sort of systems and compliance things that have gone through the industry in the past, maybe like I didn't put a lot of value towards, but going through this one myself, I definitely like appreciate the value and see like, oh, okay, this actually means something to the organization.
Amazing. Amazing. I totally agree. If you're not SOC 2 compliant right now, get SOC 2 compliant. That's what we're saying. Be SOC 2 compliant. Get that badge.
I would recommend it depends on the size of your company, right? Like if you're a really early startup, don't do it. Like it's not worth your time. Like if you're super early, still trying to figure out your product, don't do it yet. Because you're going to spend more time than you think on it. But if you're like a serious, like you have a product that you're selling to bigger companies, and you want to sort of accelerate like getting into those larger contracts, larger companies, definitely invest in it at that point. But if you're like super early days, like don't do it yet is my advice. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or Threads or something if you want to know more.
Ooh, I love it. Amazing. All right, so I do want to get into example apps, but we have some other stuff, and I feel like I have the person who like made these other things happen. And while they seem small and they were like bonus, I also feel like they deserve their place in the spotlight. Audience patch API. What is this, Kate? Like, is it a thing that people should care about? And if so, why?
Yeah, so the audience patch API, we basically, using our previous audience patch API, it required for you to rewrite the entire existing audience, a definition of an audience, along with the updates and changes that you wanted to make. So taking one user off, it would just require a lot of more overhead than a lot of our clients would wish to have. And so there was a need to basically create an easier way just to patch like 1 or 2 user IDs onto an existing audience without having to worry about rewriting the entire audience again in that call. So we built a proper semantic patch API to help and kind of make that process a lot easier for a couple of our clients. So it was kind of it was a starting point to also look at how we can improve some of our existing APIs. And yeah, it really was pushed forward by one of our clients who needed it. So it was cool to see like us get that feedback, be able to go through like the scoping for it with our client and make sure we're able to ship something that actually helped their kind of workflow and how they use DevCycle today. So yeah, that was kind of why we focused and shipped that this month.
I love that. And it's interesting too. So audience API, like the patch API is very cool in that it, getting a Wi-Fi notification thing here. Connection is unstable. All right, we're going to connect to my hotspot so I don't disappear.
Seems good to me so far.
It seems good, and maybe I'm just getting this notification. Oh, there we go. Anyways, so I've got up on the screen of the blog. So this audience patch API thing is really interesting because for a long time I was like, why do we have this patch API? And the way that it works is really unique as well. And so I was building out this blog post for a collaboration that we were doing with Directus. And it's so interesting because it like takes advantage of that patch API and specifically around like Edge DP. And so if you're ever looking for a use case of like, why do I care about the audience patch, check this out, check out this blog post. I say that not just because I want you to read what I wrote, but also because I think this is a very cool way to like focus on, especially if you're an early stage company and you're wanting to use like the power of feature flags, but you don't have all the legal stuff set up for things like privacy and all the rest of that, like that, this kind of setup with DevCycle makes it a little bit easier to kind of manage that process. And also it's just a really cool way to see how the patch API works. So check out the blog post over on our new blog, which launched recently. We're switching over from our old blog to a new blog. So check this out and let us know. By the way, Jonathan, do you like the new look? Is it feeling a little bit more exciting?
Yeah, like there's visual. It's not just lines of like just like items. I like the visual highlight there is nice.
Same. I'm also really happy. So we have a lot of folks that are writing about DevCycle. I don't know if you know this. Well, I'm sure you guys know this, but if you may not know this out there in internet land, so there's a lot of folks that write about what we do at DevCycle, and they have for a long time. So now there's a new section on the DevCycle blog called Outside Voices, where you can actually go and like read these blog posts that have been published there. Our very own Jonathan actually featured recently in an awesome blog post by Scaling Dev Tools. Jonathan, Brad, and I were on there last month, 2 months ago.
December. Yeah, I think we did in December.
And so if you're interested in sort of like the story of DevCycle, like definitely check this out. Also, there's another I need to start adding all the podcasts to here actually, because we're on a lot of podcasts right now. Like we're busy.
Yeah, I think we're doing at least one a month or for the last little bit.
All right. So the other thing I wanted to just like briefly touch on, Kate, is environment status on feature list page. So is this in the docs? Does it
We didn't update the docs because there's a pretty simple, like, quick UI update or improvement we made just to the feature list page. So basically, we wanted a way to show which features have targeting enabled for different environments. So at a glance, you can see if a feature is like targeting is turned on for production, for example, versus just like development, without having to go in and click into the feature. So yeah, we're trying to, because this is kind of the landing page versus the actual true landing page of DevCycle, this is where people end up most of the time when they're coming into DevCycle. We want to make kind of create ways to make it like easier to consume like information and exactly what you need on this page. So along with this, we do have some work that we're going to be working on around improving just the general feature list UX and UI, updating some of the filters that you see, as well as like the look and feel and like some hoverable description info kind of stuff as well in this view. But yeah, it was just a really simple thing that we wanted to add, and it was in our backlog for quite a while, so we just wanted to tackle it, get it over.
Love it. It's like these what's the saying? These are like it's not ease of life. What's the like their
quality of life?
Quality of life improvements, right?
Yeah.
Like they're like little things that you don't know that you want until you have it, and then you're like, why was this not here before?
Yeah, and we can see like hopefully with this too, Ivy, I'm in full story watching sessions, and like a lot of people were going into every single feature, scrolling down to targeting and trying to see like where things are turned on and not. So that in addition with some like interviews or just like conversations we have with clients, it was such a small tweak and like low effort improvement that we can make that would kind of shave off a lot of unnecessary clicks and time spent in DevCycle for a lot of our users. So yeah, it's like the small things actually make quite a big difference sometimes when you're interacting with a SaaS platform. So yeah,
totally.
Cool.
I love it. All right. So the reason I can't show this in the platform is because I just made a request, which thankfully one of our engineers, Emma, was able to sort out for me very quickly, because I wanted to actually do a live kind of real-time demo of one of the other things that we've been working on, which is our onboarding experience. Now, this isn't found anywhere. This is all just kind of real-time happening. And so in case you were wondering before, kind of traditional onboarding for DevCycle, if you're coming in, kind of directed you to go to this quick start, and then you watch this voice with this good-looking guy down here in the corner talking about making feature flags. And then you read through a lot of this, and then you read through more, and then you read through more, and then you read through more, and then maybe you drop off, and that's not ideal. We don't want that. And so our activations team, our team of sort of has been working really hard. Our folks that are responsible for onboarding has been like, how can we make this experience better? So this is only really beneficial for new users, but if you're an existing user and you're looking to get access to it, it's possible. Just reach out and let us know.
I think we are enabling it soon for existing users as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But what it is now is when you sign up now, you're going to be prompted for a couple things. And while normally I would say just skip through these, don't skip through these in this environment, because it's actually going to be really helpful for you. So select your role, select your tech stack, and you can select multiple languages and tags in here, and click next. It's going to be really helpful. And here is kind of our new onboarding process. Although, did something skip there, or have we changed the order? Let's see. So now we're kind of walking through the process.
I think it did skip.
There we go. This is where I wanted it to go. So it should bring you through to here, where you are going to get a 2-minute onboarding setup. And it really is 2 minutes. So you can get a no-code example where you can kind of see it live on there here. I think it's really cool to see the actual live one. You just click on this, I want to get started with an example app. It's going to give you the languages that you chose in your list, in your stack. And we've got lots of stuff. We've got Next.js, we've got Vue, we've got Go, we've got .NET, Ruby, lots of different examples that are here. I'm going to do PHP because I love PHP. And it's going to just give you this curl command to run. And so like, this is really, really straightforward. He says right now, hoping that things will go well. Let me get my terminal up over here. Right, let's go over here. I've had something running recently, so let's make this smaller. All right, and then why I have a white terminal right now, I do not know. So let's go paste there. We just got a curl command here that's gonna bring up or start creating our new example application that we have in there. Awesome. So this is running on 8,000. I'm gonna click into here. And you can see here, I have already got an example app up and running. And this is not just like a random app that's up and running. This application is actually speaking to the DevCycle platform. How do we know it's speaking to the DevCycle platform? Well, if I grab this and then I grab this and I move these over to different areas on the screen, let's do this. Let's move you over. I need to get the Windows thing up. So here we go. And we're going to start our demo. And then we're going to walk into sort of this setup that we were seeing before here, where we talk about kind of how DevCycle defines variables and feature flags and how targeting rules are set up. And then we're going to update our rules. We're actually going to change. This is our base variation, the spin variation, or this is the spin variation that we're seeing right now. And we can change it and go spin and next. And if I refresh my page, we've got spin there. If I go now to base, and refresh. Ooh.
Yeah, I think you might be running.
Oh, you know what? I might be running the wrong. I might have another one in here. I have a feeling. I have a feeling.
One running.
Oh, you know why? It's because it kept my env file. Anyways, I'm going to, so I've got my spin variation going on that one right now. So let's get that one back up and I'll actually go and find the example that I have already up and running. Let's jump in here. So note to all y'all that are out there, make sure you do not have all of these things in the same place. And so I'm going to go create my first project, self-targeting, and let's grab, so base variation there. I'm going to switch out my key because I think I am just running the wrong.
Yeah, I think you're on a different key. Yeah.
Yep, and let's get that going here. I will find it on my desktop, PHP example. Let's jump into my env. And so what's great here is like all of this stuff is already set up. Application not in there. Where's my .env? Oh, env files are hidden in here.
Yeah, you might have to do it from terminal. Yeah.
My copious code. All right, file. I love when demos go the way that you hope that they're going to go, which is wrong, right? Oh, yesterday. Yeah, that's definitely what it is. I already had one of these examples up and running.
I have the no-code one up here if you want me to show it.
The no-code, yeah. Let's pull up the no-code one, and then you can see what should be happening here had Andrew not undeleted a folder. All right, Jonathan, did you get your screen up?
Yeah, I'll pull it up here. Okay. You can see it?
We can now.
Okay, so let me go through the no-code. So same interface, but basically what we're doing is on the right here, we have the actual React example app running sort of in a iframe. So like this is what you would see if you downloaded the React example app and ran it locally, but we're just kind of like, you can actually click this and it'll open it in another tab. But yeah, so the idea of this demo is it kind of walks you through the kind of three main concepts of how to set up a feature flag with DevCycle. You have your feature flags, which are your variables here, and then you have variations. You have multiple iterations of what the values for those flags can be. And then we also walk you through sort of at the bottom here, how to target specific users with those variations. So that's basically what we're explaining here. So we switch from the base variation to the spin variation, and you can see the example here, right? You can see it spinning.
Yep, we can see it spinning.
Cool. And then, and then we can go and add another example variation here, which just sort of changes some of the things, like changes the speed, changes some of the text. And then again, we can serve the new example variation here. And then we can go over to the demo, and you can see it spinning away. And so this is all sort of happening real fast in real time. And then, and then once you're done, you can see all the confetti that goes, a little DevCycle confetti, and it will take you sort of right to the feature where you can actually like dive into these values and change some of the things. You can change some of the text. You could change. I think there's some. If you go in here to surprise and you deploy that, you can see a unicorn. So there's a couple like fun Easter eggs that we've added to the demo as well.
Courtesy of Kobe, the whimsy is adding. Yeah.
Hello. So that's kind of this great onboarding flow. And despite my glorious fumble there, which I love. That's why you do real-time demos. Like, it really is super straightforward. Note to you though, if you've already run it once on your desktop, delete your folder, because otherwise things will not work the way that you want them to work. This is really
I got you.
Yeah.
Thanks. See, this is why you have the CTO on the call at all times. Always have somebody from product and engineering on a call, and you know that things are going to go well. So these are really cool. And like I said, there's tons of examples that are up there. Check them out. If you do end up running into an edge case like mine, let us know too, because these are brand new. And so we want to know so that we can make this experience, I should say, super, super smooth for everybody. So definitely jump on and let us know about that. So we talked about audit logs. We talked about outbound webhooks. We talked about SOC2. We talked about status on the environment feature list page. We talked about audience patch API. We talked about example apps. Let's take a minute and just look at what's in store for the next little while. Let me get my screen back up here over in Docs. Here we go. Let's full screen this bad boy again. Oh, and we should say, by the way, if you decide to do the in code example, it actually does create a project and a feature within the dashboard itself. And so like you're seeing it in the browser where you're kind of controlling it there, but you actually have all of this set up in your project. So if you want to go and play around with that afterwards and you're no longer in that setup view here, you can go in and kind of play around with all of these things that we were looking at before. So lots of great ways to interact there. Definitely worth checking out. So what's in store? What's coming up? We have our product board where you can find out a lot more about that. So Beamer's there.
It's on the left there. Yeah, it's on the bottom left there. Yeah.
Roadmap. There we go. So if you're ever looking to find out what is happening around the DevCycle kind of team, you can always go over to our docs, scroll down to our roadmap, as well as our release notes section. Release notes is just, it's pulling in all of our stuff from Beamer. So same thing you see in the notifications. Roadmap is pulling in from our product board. This is mostly up to date. And you can see here, obviously standardizing example apps is a big thing that we're doing right now, a big focus area for us, as is sort of the Slack app integration. So building out a lot of those tools. But then we've got a lot of stuff in store. Some of these are already done though, aren't they? Isn't our lifestyle status stuff done?
No, it's kind of, we started it, and the last two, both feature archiving and the status detection, are going to be closing that work out, at least like our first version of kind of being able to manage a feature lifecycle. So feature archiving is just another way to it's basically very simple. You can archive a feature, get it out of your kind of feature list, organize things, kind of the terminal state of a feature. And then the lifecycle status detection is basically what people would probably know as like stale flag detection. So if a feature hasn't been updated in like 30 days, for example, or a feature's variable doesn't exist in code, the ability to notify DevCycle users of that and then prompt them to do an action, either complete the feature or archive it. So yeah, those are the two kind of, they're a little bit related items up next for us.
Yeah. And then I know that so if you're not sure, at the SSE stands for server sent events. So this is sort of like real-time updates for our local bucketing server SDKs. So this is what we kind of have our proxy in place for right now, right, Jonathan?
It's more what we have. We do have server sent events in place for our client SDK. So for all the demos that you just saw where it was like updating in real time, that's where like that server sent event connection is happening, and making that update like super fast. We do for our server SDKs, so like PHP, things like that. We don't use server sent events just yet to update those in real time. Those are still kind of polling against a CDN, so they're delayed by a second or two. So we'll be looking to add support for server sent events to our server SDKs kind of throughout the year.
Yeah. And then things like overrides. This is a one from you, Kate. So what's this all about?
Yeah, so a lot of our teams have been asking, particularly like QA engineers who are running like end-to-end tests for their app, like in different frameworks such as like Cypress, want to tell our SDK to serve specific values for variables throughout this, and they don't want to mock the SDK in those end-to-end tests because it's just creates anti-patterns, difficult, all that kind of stuff. So we're introducing the ability, basically an SDK feature that allows you to override the variable values for tests and mock that behavior of the DevCycle SDK. So it helps with that entire process. We're starting off with just doing the JS SDK, but we know that this type of like SDK test mode override situation is also helpful for other SDKs, but we're going to start out with JavaScript and then hopefully expand that because I know, I think Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan, but like we also want to have support for like Node.js and Jest and things like that and other frameworks.
We should be able to do most of the JavaScript ones all at once. Like the thing with JavaScript, we have like 5 flavors of our SDK, right?
Yeah.
So theoretically, we should be able to. Most of the testing frameworks are similar. Like Jest is, I believe, can be used across most areas. And then there's frameworks like Cypress and things like that are more like that test sort of in browser, right? Versus sort of more unit test frameworks. So I think we'll try to support both as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm chatting with Adam this afternoon to see if that would be possible to do more JavaScript stuff in this work. But definitely JavaScript will be part of that in the beginning.
And then obviously lots of stuff coming up. More CLI work. Like a lot of these have been in here for a while. If you follow these feature focused streams, you've seen a lot of these tickets here for a while. And some of them like probably have been dealt with already. Some of them are being dealt with kind of as we speak. Like we're always kind of constantly kind of updating the roadmap, but lots of great stuff in here. And really ultimately, like if you are really behind one of these features and you're like, I need Okta, I need SAML, I need Postman, I need like downloadable example apps, which you have now. You can always submit an idea in here, or you can like upvote an existing idea by giving your email, and then you'll get notified as the ticket gets moved around. So just click that, give us an idea of what you're looking for here. All of your feedback from everywhere gets fed through to our product team. Kate and Kobe review all of it and ensure that the stuff that's important is kind of moving forward. So use this. It's a great place to get connected on all of the awesome stuff that is kind of going on and planned. And then obviously checking out the change log for things that are happening. And speaking of change logs, there's a change log that's going to be coming out this month, right, Kate?
Yes. There is a change log.
That was a very yes, there is, Andrew. There's a thing. We're expanding on these, so we know not everybody has like an hour to put aside for kind of these streams once a month. And so we're trying to deliver this stuff in multiple different ways. So if you want to just get notifications, you can check it out there. If you want to get watch all of us on here chatting about this stuff and giving some examples, you can do that here. And then if you want to kind of read about it, then you'll have that changelog opportunity there as well. So yeah.
We should link
TLDR.
feature focus in the changelog to be a changelog.
Yeah, meta. Very meta.
So meta. But yeah, so definitely check that out when it comes out. It's coming out a little bit later this month. We're now obviously in February, but we're talking about a lot of January release stuff, but there'll be something coming out a little bit later in February. And then we'll have another one of these streams at the end of February to talk about all the stuff that came out in February. And then you'll get the changelog in March. It makes sense, everybody. We want to keep reminding you of all these cool things that we're doing. Yeah, so that's lots of features. And I know that not everybody will catch this live, but I will also take the opportunity now just to give a little shout out to our Discord server. And I'll pull up, I think I have the link to this on I think I have a link to this saved in my banners. Let's see, feature focus. Yes, I do. So all of the stuff that's going on in the DevCycle community, everything's posted, including the stream. You can get a direct link to the stream on our Discord server. All of these announcements, everything that goes out via Beamer. If you don't want to deal with it in docs, like a Discord is your space, it is here. You can also connect with literally every member of the DevCycle team. Almost is on Discord. And so if you want to reach out to Kate or reach out to Jonathan or reach out to me, you can do it here. I do office hours every Monday as well. So you can drop by at noon and kind of just hang out with me as I work. And also like some great resources and directories and just a place for conversation. And then obviously really important one is asking for support. So we've got tickets in here. You can submit your own tickets by email or by lots of ways, but you can just reach out on here and kind of ask questions. And our support team and our engineering team and our product team and me are kind of constantly looking at this. So check it out. That said, if you've reached this point in the video, you've earned yourself a prize. I have some $20 gift cards ready to go. They are literal gift cards that you can spend anywhere you want to in your area. All you got to do is go onto here and you just got to at me or Jonathan or Kate, either in a DM or somewhere. Go on there, at one of us. As long as you are the first like 1 or 2 people to do that, I got a gift card that I'll send to you. Even if you're catching this as a VOD, like a year after it, if you're catching this in 2027, and you are looking to get access to this, reach out because you never know. And I'd love to give some free stuff to people. That's what we're all about. Well, not all about, but it's what we're partially.
Yeah, Kobe, you don't count. You don't count.
You don't count, Kobe.
I'm sorry.
I mean, is he trying? Is he trying to play that game? He's trying. No internals. Yeah, but definitely reach out there. And we'd love to be able to kind of give you send some love your way. So I'm not going to read that message live on stream, but I am going to pull this back up and head back over to our docs. Because we have reached almost that time. We're 2 minutes to the hour, which means that we are at the end of our show for today. I'm so sad because I love these shows. I love having the opportunity to just like jump on stream with folks that are part of the DevCycle team, talk about things that we've been doing. Jonathan, you're here, and I know you've been doing a lot of stuff as well, specifically around open feature. Do you want to kind of give a little teaser for what people might expect on our next feature focus update in February?
Yeah. If you're interested and you use React, we're working with the open feature folks to get full DevCycle support for their new React SDK. So they're really pushing on the various client-side SDKs. Also looking at Nest.js that open features is launching, and then as well we've been working internally on a Next.js. So many acronyms or short form JavaScript tools, but we've been working on Next.js SDK that we've launched, and we'll be working with the open feature folks to help them through how to build one for open feature in the coming months.
Yeah. And if you don't know what open feature is, by the way, or how it works, I did a recording yesterday. I did one of the user groups for open feature meetings, which is kind of like a broad introduction to feature flagging, but actually doing a live demo of setting up an open feature provider inside of a sample application. And so it's like a 3-minute video to watch. The whole kind of talk is like half an hour. So check that out. But if you're not sure what open feature is, this is the community that exists around feature flagging. It's growing all the time. It's also the standard way of doing this. We love open feature. They're awesome. They're doing camera just died. Oh, there we go. And so we really want for everybody to use feature flags, and a great gateway into that is using open features. So be sure to check out open feature. You'll be hearing a lot about them from us over the next year, because we're going all in with open feature in 2024. Yeah. So, Kate, you are, this is kind of your first time. And so I always like to give our first time guests or guest hosts, co-hosts, an opportunity for the final word of the show. So before I kind of wrap things up with kind of where people can get in touch with us, what's kind of the final word you think of this month of feature releases at DevCycle?
The word? Oh,
the word.
I thought you were going to give me a gift card. I was so excited. No, I'm kidding. The final word. I don't know. I think putting me spot, but I'll not do a word. I'll do maybe a sentence. Like,
there we go.
This past month, like, we were able to fit like smaller, like UI improvements, small quality of life things, like into our roadmap pretty easily. If some of our customers like speak up, talk to us about it, and like we get to have that one-on-one conversation with them. So our DMs are always open, our messages are open. So if there's something that you really want to see that we're not working on and it would improve your like existing process, or you're just like quality of life in general, like talk to us. Our roadmap is always changing and we can fit things in here and there. So yeah, let us know what you like and dislike, and we can see to it and make sure things are prioritized accordingly for our most valued clients. But yeah, so that's it.
I love it. And if you're not sure where to do that, where to provide this information, I moved myself to the bottom of the screen just so that I could point directly at the thing here. Find us on Discord, reach out to us anywhere. Literally, if you type the word DevCycle into Google and like ask a question somewhere, we'll find it. And so please reach out, let us know. And if you want to find us elsewhere, we're on Threads, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitch, we're on Twitter. Is that a thing anymore? We're on YouTube. We have a blog. We have a website. We're everywhere. We're on the internet. Find us. If you haven't tried DevCycle before and you're like, these people seem pretty cool, I could try this platform. It's free to use. You don't need to pay any monies. And if you want to try feature flagging without us, try open feature, which is even more free. But try them out. We're here to support you. We want you to be part of this feature flagging revolution that is happening in the software development world right now. So thank you all so much for being here. Jonathan and Kate, thank you so much for being my awesome co-hosts today. And as I say at the end of every stream, thank you all for watching, and we will see you around the DevCycle community. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.